India has been the most dominant side, at least in white ball cricket, since 2019-20, I would say, since
Mm.
the arrival of McKellen. You have been keeping flat pitches every time.
There should be no boundary line for the sports. Us again, and we're talking about the privileges India has in Dubai for being in Dubai and not traveling around the country or cities, and how it is a big privilege for a team to win an ICC trophy. That's what we heard from the Sky Cricket podcast from Nas and Atherton. But before that, it's lovely to see you joining us from Gaddafi Stadium. Weber, how does the atmosphere feel like that?
On
Does
ground
it feel
report.
good?
The atmosphere is tense. Nobody knows when things are going to collapse or explode.
Are there fans running with extremist billboards and trying to hug the players? Is that
Yeah,
what is happening there?
there's everything, but unfortunately, I don't think they've got water. You can see those blue color tanks in the picture. They're like some cyclone or something affected them, and they've got to pump up water to the top. That's the sort of setup they've got. They don't even have electricity. That's when they decided they will do light show, and then they were
Yeah.
trying to get that
And
sorted.
when the fielder tries to catch the ball, he gets hit on the forehead.
Yeah, they get it on the
Matches
forehead.
get washed out. And
Yeah,
they don't
matches.
even,
That was in
They will
Pindi,
show
no?
that
That was in
phone.
Pindi.
all stadiums are same only, bro. Same only it looks like from
No, do
outside.
you know they stole Rachin Ravindra's iPhone on the way to the
Yeah,
hospital.
that's true. Yeah. Yeah, when Rachin Ravindra was taken to the hospital, that time, isn't it?
Yeah, like he didn't know
Yeah.
that his phone was lost, and then he
The
later on he got.
atmosphere must be bonkers. I mean, literally, we have some senior journalists from Indian news channels also going there. For what reason, I don't know. Because the matches are getting washed off. Pakistan is getting washed off. I don't know for what the reporters are there in Pakistan. But, anyways, we are going
To
to
eat
talk about
kebabs, to eat kebabs.
to eat kebabs, to eat gajar ka halwa. So yeah, let's talk about the advantage India has to play their matches in Dubai, and the advantage of them knowing their all the venues in the past as well for the Indian team winning the tournaments, because they have added advantage all the times, and it is an unreasonable advantage according to some of the fellow podcasters on YouTube from Sky Sports. They also happen to be players, ex-players of the English side, and that doesn't surprise me that they have an excuse every time they lose something. So yeah, what is your take on that funny aspect of the English cricket, where they come up with some excuses and some comments on India having the advantage playing all their matches in Dubai? What do you want to say about that, Jinaj?
I mean, see, when things come out of Mike Atherton or Nasser Hussain, we tend to actually hear as well because they speak
Exactly.
well. They talk about cricket and all of that. And I've been following their podcast from a quite a long time now. I
Mm,
mean,
mm,
almost since the World Cup 23. Since
mm,
then,
mm,
I mean, I've been hearing their podcast, and it's much more informative and all of that. But when players like them as well, but one thing which I don't agree what he said was that India have an unfair advantage of
mm,
all of the matches at the same place. They don't have to travel much.
mm.
But even during the World Cup 23, like India was the only team, since it was the home team, obviously, they had to travel to each and every stadium around India, right
Mm,
from Dharmshala to Chepauk, and then from
mm.
Motera to Eden Gardens. So they
Yeah.
had to travel everywhere. And
Mm,
to be honest, for teams like Australia, England, or the other teams as well, their
mm.
matches were limited to maximum 2 to 3 stadiums, and they didn't actually need to travel much than what
Absolutely.
India had to travel. You guys,
Absolutely.
I mean, they just need to travel from Lahore to Dubai, which is how much? 1 hour, 1.5 hours distance. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Pakistani team came through their Royal Air Force plane, but I'm not sure about the other teams. But
Mm,
it's not like an unfair advantage. Like it has its due uh,
mm.
negative sides of it as well. Like India have to play on the same pitch over and over again. On the other hand, you do have the luxury of playing on different pitches, different conditions. It's not, I mean, hopefully, hopefully England's match doesn't get washed out
mm,
tomorrow. I mean, that would not be something under their control as well. But anyway, like this was not something which was expected from Nasser Hussain or Michael Atherton. I mean, they all of these things about talking. I mean, talking mainly about the conditions favoring India, even during the 24 World Cup. I mean, at some point, yes, I mean, it is true that they do
mm.
have that advantage, but even England had it during their days, during the 1983 World Cup. Even at the moment, all of the WTC finals are held in England.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But they
that's their
still
problem
manage.
that they don't
We still
qualify.
don't manage to qualify for those.
Yeah,
That's another.
that's their problem that they don't
Yeah,
manage to qualify.
yeah.
And England, instead of pinpointing on the advantage other teams have, they should be thinking about their own batting,
Mm,
uh, their own cricket, what they are playing, the kind of brand of cricket they are playing. They are still not able
mm,
to solve their whether they should play a bowler shot or they should play a batter shot. So they are still not able to solve that problem. They should be focused more on
mm,
that instead
mm.
of taking around the advantages each and I mean all of the other teams have got. India does
Yeah,
have, but at the same time, India even brings money. If India doesn't play any tournament, you're not going to get a crowd. I mean, get a crowd or get any viewership or any money for the tournament. So this is how it is. We can't help it.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with the fact that I mean we are not against we are not against the criticism. Criticism is fine when it's constructive. For the criticism which we got in the 2024 World Cup, the T20 World Cup, that is fine. That India knew their travel plans and India knew where they are going to play their semi-finals or finals, as to say. But for this tournament, it was planned in that way for some reason, and BCCI and PCB both had an agreement, and all the eight participating nations did buy into this solution. But it was more for the security concerns India had. And
Yeah.
then if we go in the past, if we talk about the English team or for the other teams, as to say, the World Cup inception was in 1975, and until the third edition or the fourth edition, all the World Cups were played in the English conditions and English grounds, and the final was always in the Lord's Stadium. So how much of that was an advantage to the English team knowing their conditions? And if
They
that
still
was an
didn't win.
advantage, they still did not qualify to the final, let alone
Winning.
winning the tournament. So it was West Indies who won the tournament from first two times, and then India, and then it was moved to another country. So if we talk about these things in cricket as advantages, I don't think how fair that comparison is. I'll take your words on this, Weber. What do you think about this comment from senior journalists or senior cricketers? So, as to say,
So I was just watching that few hours ago, same
mm,
podcast, and from my perspective, I see it in two ways. So one,
mm,
yes, India has undue advantage. Go by what they say. Another thing is India wantedly in that position, or is there a valid reason for that undue advantage? So, firstly, when they say undue advantage, yes, probably you might get, you may not have to travel. You have everything in one place. Hotel room is inferior. You even get seated in the same restaurant every day. All that might
mm,
be there. But
mm,
all of that apart, other teams come to come to play and come to play to Dubai, and Dubai is not too far away from Pakistan. And
yeah,
for a matter of fact, the very first few minutes in that video, Nasser Hussain and Atherton, both of them, they discuss about how they traveled from Rawalpindi to Lahore,
yeah,
and that was a 5-hour journey.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so I don't think traveling between Rawalpindi or Lahore or be it anywhere else in Pakistan to Dubai is a 5-hour journey, or they don't even have to wait at the airport 5 hours. They can,
Mm,
like as you mentioned, Pakistan might travel using their, national air forces aircrafts.
mm,
All of that could happen. So the question is again, who plays better cricket in spite
yeah,
of all these conditions? Who picks the better side to play in any sort of condition? That's what matters. And as we
mm,
all know, what the British always do, they're very good at giving excuses, right from the government to that local shop near you. Everybody is they're like kings at giving excuses. So
yeah,
that's what has happened in this case also. They picked a
mm,
very subpar team, even though they
mm,
have two, three spinners. They hardly use them. They just pick one main spinner, and then
mm,
they believe that it's more than enough to blame the other person and you know, tell them that they've got an undue advantage. And
mm,
for that matter, if you see the security conditions, going into the security side of things, would the English team have travelled to Northern Ireland during the days of the IRA to play cricket or any other sport? They wouldn't have. We will see in
mm.
the next on Sunday, India versus New Zealand, if they can give, if the match is not one sided, then they'll get to know that it's the team that matters and not the other things around, traveling two
Exactly,
hours.
exactly. Yeah,
Because, see, England have picked just one proper spinner, whereas New Zealand is
mm,
coming with two full time spinners and
mm,
two part time spinners and four fast bowlers. So they've got a
yeah,
very good and they can pick and place whoever they want from the team. In the last game against Bangladesh, they played all the four spinners. They had Rachan
yeah,
Ravindra, they had Bracewell, and they
yeah,
had Santner and Glenn Phillips also. So when they played
mm,
against them, so when they have formed such a team and they can, like towards the end of the conversation, both of them, both Nasser Hussain and Atherton, they both agreed that New Zealand seemed to be a much better team, which will make it to the finals against India.
yeah.
So when that is your thought process, why wouldn't
Yeah,
you
but
like
then if they say that, if they say that New Zealand will is the better team and they would reach the finals, that they mean that New Zealand is a better team. That's why they would reach the final, and so India having an advantage. That's why they would reach the finals. So why India is going to reach the finals and why New Zealand is going to reach the finals. So bad thing to say in my opinion.
That's what, like, it's very, look at, I was just reading this one stat, sorry to interrupt. I was just,
Yeah.
since the start of the 2011 ODI World Cup, India has played 49 ODIs
Mm,
across, 49 ODIs in the Cricket World Cup and the Champions Trophy across
mm,
25 different grounds.
mm,
49 ODIs, and
yeah.
India has won 41 ODIs, lost
Mm,
7, and there was one tied that England won at Mohali, I think,
yeah. Yeah.
during the World Cup because
Yeah.
of Piyush Chawla thing. So 49 49 they have played, 41 they have won, 7 lost, 1 tie. The win
Mm,
to loss ratio is 5.86 is to, for every
mm,
one loss we have got 5.86 wins.
right. Yeah.
India has been the most dominant side, at least in white ball cricket.
Mm,
Let's leave even white ball cricket, just the ODI cricket. India
mm.
has been the most dominant side in this last one decade, more than a decade,
Decade.
in this last 15
Yeah.
years at most.
100%.
So there
100%.
is, winning in England,
Yeah.
under winning in England, winning in South Africa under Virat Kohli, winning in England, winning in, I think we have one in Australia as well,
Yeah.
one, one bilateral,
Yeah.
winning at home. All,
Yeah.
we have never lost at home even one game in
Yeah.
these last 20. Apart from that World Cup, we
Yeah.
haven't lost any ODIs at home.
Yeah.
India is the dominant side, and they have to agree that, irrespective of the conditions given to us,
Yeah.
the reason why the conditions were given to us, because you all agreed to have a hybrid tournament. You should
Yeah.
have moved the whole tournament outside of Pakistan. You
Yeah.
knew the conditions of Pakistani stadiums, what were happening.
100%.
Until
100%.
last year, this time the stadiums were not even fit for playing.
100%.
So you knew everything, and now again this tournament is going to go in loss. The only reason why you might even break even is because of the India Pakistan match.
100. And the India matches in the future as well.
Yeah, and the India matches in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
100%.
instead of talking about like which team is better on paper, which team will go through the finals, you're doubting your own team,
Hmm.
which is not at all good. And on top of that, you're giving tax to other. Even Pakistan lost at home against New Zealand the first match. All
Yeah.
three
And they were
matches
playing on the same
they
ground
lost.
the entire They were playing in the same locations the entire tri series,
Yes, and
and
you
they
you
still
you
lost.
were able to put up a score of 350 runs. You were not
Yeah,
able to defend it.
yeah.
You knew
I
all.
mean,
I mean, you knew that's the reason you had fast bowlers. That's the
mm,
reason you were playing in those kind of conditions in India. Even when you needed a spinner, you were not bringing in a spinner because you wanted to make your players more tough on these tough pitches with because you wanted to make be ex. I
mm,
mean, you wanted your bowlers to excel in those flat pitches in Pakistan. That's the reason you were
100%.
making them ball in these tougher conditions. All of those things were there. Then what's the need of bringing this new thing that India is favorite because of the location? I mean,
Well,
we
not just that.
we can't help it. We can't go to Pakistan. Then that's the reason I'm saying that don't just keep the tournaments in three major countries: England, Australia, and India. All of them will have their fair advantage in this. Crowd pull money,
Yeah,
everything
but
will
then
happen, and
but then
all of those.
anything comes up in India or Asian conditions, they have their own whims and fancies that they make turning pitches, and that's what we cannot
Ah, so
rely on
that's
them
your
making good
problem.
stuff.
That's
So yeah, I mean,
that's
yeah, that's a form of
that's
cricket
their
you don't excel in, so you have to
yeah.
accept it.
Yes. I mean, even you have kept flat pitches since 2019-20, I would say, since
Hmm,
the arrival of McKellen.
hmm,
You have been keeping flat pitches every time. You
hmm.
have been keeping flat pitches. You don't have those swinging conditions, and still you're losing at home
True, true,
against Australia.
true.
In India, they won the series because of that one-off test was kept later on. We lost the
True.
momentum, but
Hmm,
against Australia, you have been losing. You have not
hmm,
been winning. So
hmm.
where's the home advantage you're looking forward to as well? You don't even realize that advantage. I mean, you don't even put that advantage for yourself. So I don't know what the complaint mainly is all about.
Yeah, go on, Vaibhav, you're talking. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes, sorry.
as Jinansh was mentioning, they didn't use their spinners properly, and their
Hmm,
spinners don't have any quality. In the last
hmm,
game against Australia, both of their spinners, Joe Root, except for Adil Rashid, they're part-time spinners. Joe Root
yeah.
went 4 overs, 40 runs, close to 40 runs,
Hmm.
and the other one was, I think, Liam Livingston. Liam
Livingston, yeah.
Livingston went for another 40, 60 runs. The
Yeah,
same.
they both combined an average of an economy of 7 or something.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the same thing in the case of Bangladesh. Bangladesh has only three spinners in their side. They picked two of them to play, Mehdi Hasan Miraz and Rashad Hussain.
Rishad Hussain.
And yeah, and both of them in the 10 overs that each of them bowled, they played. They were very economical. I think
100%.
Mehdi Hasan gave 38 in the 10 overs that he played, and
Hmm.
Rashad Hussain was 34 and picked up 2 wickets. So
Hmm.
they've got quality spinners, which England
Yeah.
doesn't have, and they
Yeah.
shouldn't be complaining or giving excuses for what mistake they have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some
Thanks.
great opinions by Weber, I would say. I mean, I will stick to cricket, and I would say that if a team is doing good, it's because they are doing good. It's not about any advantage or because of the because and any help which they get because of the pitch or the venues. It's just basic. You are just taking away the credit to give a team who is playing very good cricket since not only today, not only this year, but since like 10 years, and it is far more superior than most of the teams, and it is nowhere to compare with because they have some advantages or not. I mean, that's taking away a hell lot of credit from a team who's doing really really well in the white ball format. But yeah, moving on to them, I think they have made another change where finally they have some senses, and Bryden Cast has been replaced by Rihan Ahmed
Not
finally.
senses. Not
Okay,
senses because he
is
was
it because of
injured.
injury? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
of injury.
Might be a
This
blessing in
thing.
disguise for them. Who knows?
Shreyas Iyer, Virat Kohli type situation it became.
Right, right.
You know.
Yeah.
So
But
like
but
that it became.
but they had Jamie Overton as well in the squad, so they might have got him. But I think this is because of the conditions. They finally have some senses, and they have. I think that team would probably do a better job in the Afghanistan encounter, which is probably might be going around right now. So another interesting theory which came up is an Indian fan was escorted out of the stadium in one of the Pakistan stadiums for waving the Indian flag during the match. How do you look at it, Jinanj?
Yeah, I mean, we are always we always like to be hospitable to our whoever the guest is,
Hmm.
like whether if he's either from Pakistan, Bangladesh, China.
Yeah,
How many enemies India has? Yeah, three. So
many
so
as of
three.
now.
So whoever it is, we are hospitable to them. But Pakistan, firstly, I don't know why that guy is showing the Indian flag over there when you know that you are in Pakistan.
Hmm.
I will hear the Pakistani the hospitality soon from those senior journalists.
Hmm.
Hopefully they'll make it
Hmm.
alive
Yeah.
soon. So we'll hear from
Yeah,
them. But
I mean, I was looking at their videos, so they are quite happy with the
yeah, yeah.
hospitality they are getting in
they-
Lahore. So,
So I'm just saying. So the thing is like, firstly, when India is actually not playing any matches, why to show your Indian flag and do those kind of things? Because it's a foreign country, a
hmm,
military rule country,
hmm,
which has already so much hatred for India.
right.
Why you want to do those things? Like, so anything can happen. My question is, why do you want to do that? Like, any common sense man won't do that. But I'll only say three things. I condemn it. Whatever happened, हम उसकी
Yeah.
कड़ी निंदा करते.
Yeah, I mean that's not funny, but yeah, that's what we think about that. So, what are your views on that, Vaibhav?
So right from I think the first day, first match, they were complaining the Indian flag wasn't there, and
Hmm,
all of those issues came up. So I think that's the
hmm.
reason that fan turned up there to put the Indian flag in that building. So I don't see why they should oppose it.
But we don't know. I mean, we don't know the reality of the issue. But whatever it is, I think it should not have been happened. If you are supporting any of the eight teams, you can do whatever you want to support those eight teams in any of the locations, whether it be India, whether it be England, whether it be Australia, whether it be Pakistan or Afghanistan or any territory for that matter. Sports is the only mean which helps people be free and express themselves. And I don't agree to the fact that anything of this sort should happen in any part of the world, at least on the sporting ground, because let the sport be beyond the boundaries. As we call our channel the boundary line, there should be no boundary line for the sports. So that's what we agree and that's what we feel. Anything said to hurt that feeling, even in the show, might be a personal opinion. But apart from that, I think sports should be away from the boundaries of countries, I feel, and it should be played in the correct spirit, and the fans should be let to express whatever they feel on the sporting ground and in the arena. That's it. But yeah, that was us for today. And there's a interesting encounter going around right now, which is England versus Afghanistan. So we'll keep a close eye on that, and we'll be back somewhere around tomorrow or day after to review those matches as well. And as usual, as we did the last time, our podcast, which is usually aired on the Sunday, will be done on Saturday this time, because we will be discussing the India versus New Zealand pre-match show in that podcast. So do join us for that. Until then, it's us signing off. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.